The US Open is literally right around the corner, so with that being said, let's take a look at the entry list for this year's Women's US Open. What's up, everybody? It's John Eric Poli, and in today's video, we're going to look at some of the players that are entered into this year's US Open, and of course, in this video today, guys, we are featuring the women's tennis players. So, with that being said, let's get started by talking about the world number one, Iga Swiatek. Swiatek, of course, won this tournament before. She's having a great 2024. You guys, of course, all know her resume. It's been out there, well documented. Probably the big one this year, of course, not only that French Open, but winning that Olympic bronze medal for her country of Poland. Poland's first ever tennis Olympic medal. So congratulations again to Swiatek on that. She is entered and, of course, going to be one of the favorites. Now, another person to talk about, probably should have led with this person, but again, I want to lead with Iga since she's the world number one. This is the world number two, Coco Gauff. And Gauff, as you guys know, is last year's champ. She will be the one defending her throne at this year's tournament. And last year, you guys remember, what a magical moment. She was red hot coming into the tournament. She had such a fantastic U.S. Open tournament, getting the job done there by beating Aryna Sabalenka in the finals and then saying all those great things she said on the microphone. It was a very big moment for Gauff and the reason why Gauff has now been such a draw after winning that U.S. Open. Now, let's talk about Aryna Sabalenka next. Sabalenka, of course, is entered in this year's tournament. We saw her have to pull out of Wimbledon with an injury, and it's been a little bit of a rough road kind of coming back here a little bit to some degree. We saw some struggles early on in D.C. and at the Canadian Open, but again, you know, for Sabalenka, if she's healthy, she's going to be right in the mix of things here. Her game is so good no matter what surface it's on, and not to mention especially the hard court. She won the last two Australian Opens and was last year's U.S. Open runner-up, so hopefully Sabalenka will be healthy enough to give this thing a go and make a deep run into this year's U.S. Open. All right, let's talk next about Elena Rybakina. Rybakina, of course, one of the fan favorites. She's won Wimbledon before. Big thing here for Rybakina, guys, these big major tournaments have not been stellar by any stretch of the imagination. And I mean, this year's Wimbledon, that was, again, Barbora Krejcikova, former major champion. I know she goes on to beat Rybakina there and win the whole thing and whatnot, but still, for Rybakina was definitely the favorite in that matchup, and we're kind of waiting to see her take that big step here in 2024. Could this be the moment? Sure, but something's got to give here for Rybakina. She's way overdue for a big win, but she's going to have to play a little bit better in these major sort of tournaments here. So let's see what Rybakina has in store for this year's U.S. Open. Here's a big name I'm going to bring up next, guys, and it's one that probably shouldn't be so high up here on the list, but we're going to talk about them. Naomi Osaka. I mean, it's been bad, guys. Let's not sugarcoat it. We figured it, for the most part, it was going to be a rough 2024 for Naomi Osaka. That's just continuing right here, right now. This hard court season where we thought, like, by this time of the year, she'd be ready to roll. Hasn't rolled yet, okay? Losing in the Canadian Open, losing in qualifying for the Cincinnati Open. The big thing on her resume was that matchup where she ended up losing to Iga Swiatek in the French Open, would push Swiatek to the brink. But again, very bad year for Osaka in her comeback after giving birth. And everybody thought this would be her time to shine. It hasn't looked that way so far. But again, we'll see what she does on August 26th when this tournament gets started. All right, next person I want to bring up that's also entered, Jessica Pegula. Big win at the Canadian Open. Back-to-back champ there. And for Pegula, she was overdue for a big moment here in 2024. Now winning that, let's see if it can kickstart her at all. Pegula has the game to do good stuff on the hard courts. She was having a good grass season too, and then Wimbledon kind of fell apart there. Big opportunity for Jessica Pegula here. She may be a sleeper to win it all here. I mean, she's not going to be a big sleeper. Of course, she is one of the best players in the world. But I know that the likes of the Swiateks and the Gauffs of the world are going to be kind of taking those headlines. Don't sleep on Jessica Pegula. Another American to talk about, having a good 2024. She just had a very good Canadian Open. She's making very far runs in a lot of tournaments. That's Emma Navarro. Navarro very much primed here for a run towards a U.S. Open championship. I really like her game. She's having a great year here in 2024. Let's see if that could continue on here. So, guys, that is pretty much some of the bigger names for the most part. I'm not going to keep going on and on and on. I do have in the description, though, of this video, if you want to see the full list of all of the entries for this year's Women's U.S. Open, you can view so in the description of this video. So, as always, thank you guys for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe. And I just want to say before I head out, can't wait for this year's U.S. Open.